Now we are going to learn the outermost covering, that is epidermis in the plants. Let us see the structure first. The layer of cells covering surface of entire plant, it is epidermis. Epidermal layer is thin and transparent. Epidermal tissues have tiny hairs projecting from the surface of epidermis. Trichomes are abundant in some plant leaves. Root hairs are elongations of epidermal cells in the roots. Epidermal tissues in leaves are covered with a waxy cuticle. Some epidermal cells secrete poisonous or bad tasting substances also. So, along with this structural detail, we are going to learn the functions also. So, the layer, outermost layer, that is epidermis, act as a barrier to the microorganisms and plant pathogens, which gives protection to the plant. It allows light to pass through for the process of photosynthesis in the tissues which are present below, and this light can pass very easily from it because the epidermal layer is very thin and transparent also. The epidermal tissues have tiny hairs which are projecting from surface of epidermis. These are leaf trichomes which trap the water to prevent from the water loss. Root hairs are elongations. These root hairs increase the surface area for absorption of water from the soil. Epidermal tissue in the leaves, these are covered with the waxy cuticle, and this waxy cuticle prevents the water loss from the leaves. Some epidermal cells secrete poisonous or bad tasting substances, and the bitter taste of these epidermal cells or the poisonous substances secreted by this epidermis prevent the grazing by animal. So this is first of all, this is the function structure of the epidermal cell, and along with the structural details, these are the functions of epidermal cells. Now we are going to learn complex permanent tissues. These complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cells that have a common origin, and these all cells work together to do a common function. Present in complex plants and help a plant to survive in terrestrial environment, especially land. Function of these complex permanent tissues is to transport water, minerals and food to all parts of the plants. Complex permanent tissues are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem consists of xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma, whereas phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Both the conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem, are called as a vascular tissues, and together are known as vascular bundle. That means xylem, it is a one kind type of vascular tissue, plus phloem, which is again a second type of vascular tissue, combiningly form a vascular bundle. In case of xylem, it is also known as wood. Cells have thick walls. Elements are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. Vessels are most important element and are shorter and wider than tracheids. Vessels and tracheids have tube-like structure that helps in transporting water and minerals vertically efficiently. Xylem parenchyma stores food and helps in lateral conduction of water. In addition to transporting water and mineral salts from roots to leaves, xylem also provide support to the plants and trees because of its tough lignified vessels. Phloem, in case of phloem, the sieve tubes are tube-like structures. The elements are sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. The end walls are called as a sieve plates, and these sieve plates are perforated because of presence of pores. These pores are present in sieve tube just for the free transport of the content. Phloem transports the prepared food from leaves to storage organs and from storage organs to growing regions. Hence, materials can move in both the direction in it. Now we will learn the difference between xylem and phloem. Xylem conducts water and minerals, whereas phloem conducts food. Xylem conduction takes place in one direction, whereas the conduction in phloem, it is a bidirectional, or it takes place upward and downward also in the two direction. Conducting channels in the xylem are tracheids and vessels. In case of phloem, the conducting channels are sieve tubes. Only xylem parenchyma is living and other elements are completely dead. In case of phloem, all elements are living, only phloem fibers are dead. Xylem conducts and give mechanical strength due to presence of lignified vessels. Phloem conducts and phloem doesn't help in mechanical strength. So this is the difference between xylem and phloem. So now we will see the outline about animal tissues on the basis of their functions. So we are going to learn 4 different animal tissues, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. In case of first, that is epithelial tissue, there are different types including squamous epithelial, cuboidal epithelial, columnar epithelial, ciliated epithelial and stratified squamous epithelial tissues. Whereas in case of connective tissue, again 4 subtypes are there, that is areolar connective tissues, adipose connective tissues, skeletal connective tissues and fluid connective tissues, among which areolar connective tissue consists of tendon and ligaments. Adipose connective tissue don't have any kind of subtypes. Skeletal connective tissues consist of bone and cartilage, and fluid connective tissue consists of blood and lymph. Next is the muscular tissue, which consists of striated, smooth and cardiac. And nervous tissues, lastly it is a nervous tissue. So about animal tissues we will see the details in next class.